because, I always tell people, I was like, just walk on in. You don't need an appointment. Come see me and stuff like that. And that's exactly what she did. And I thought she was somebody else, and she came in, and I was like, "Welcome home," because when people come to our office, we say "Welcome home" and stuff. I was like, "Welcome home. Oh, good to see you." And we're just talking, and we literally talked 2 hours before I realized she was not the person I thought she was. Needless to say, though, I'm glad she walked in, simply because I made a new friend. We've actually talked every single day since, multiple times a day actually. We've talked every single day since, and sometimes you just kind of connect with people. She was my connection. So I am proud and excited to bring you my new friend, Dr. Jamisa Bennett. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of background because this story is, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. As she holds the deeds of 28 mortgage-free properties that were purchased through her company, Dr. Jamisa Bennett has become one of the most powerful and self-starting entrepreneurs that have tackled the real estate industry by the age of 27. If Wonder Woman was a person, Dr. Jamisa would be it. As she is a wife and a mother of four, she shows that anything is possible and can be accomplished. Wanting the same success for others, she has created a welfare to work program that serves both married and single mothers by providing them with resources and tools to understand that there is another way to provide for their families and to live with stability and independency. As her hustle mentality, I like that. Okay, as her hustle mentality sticks with her throughout her journey, it has allowed her to remain focused and push through adversity. By doing so, she was blessed with winning an award for being one of the top prominent investors in the city of Philadelphia during Philadelphia Real Estate Week in 2018. Her card filling permit permitted her to be featured on Forbes magazine, Entrepreneur, and Business Insider. She was also able to speak at such events as a NAACP seminar and TED Talk in Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Jamisa Beck.
You made it sound so good. You make it sound so good, guys. Well, hello.
Hello.
My name. I am Dr. Jamisa. On the weekends, I'm just Jamisa. I only do business stuff from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
That was a bio. It's a little dated. So right now, I have 28 properties. I have a hotel. I have 5 children. I have 4. I have a depot shop, so I won't have any more. What else is new? What else did you guys miss? The cat. I just got a cat. The cat's amazing. I love it. So that's my new baby. I guess we can 6 now. But overall, I am a hardworking, very ambitious, diligent young lady. That's it, right? All of the accolades, all of the great titles, all of the features, there are amazing things. However, before I was any of those things, I was me.
Come on.
Your sense of self is very, very important. Okay? It helps to be versatile. It helps to overcome adversity. It's the reason I drove here in a sweatsuit and walked in looking like this, if you didn't know.
Okay.
So when you guys woke up this morning, you probably weren't sure. I know that we are in a climate, both economic and like socially weird. It's a really weird time that we're in right now. And if you don't stay grounded to who you are at your core, you will be all over the place. You've been blown this way. You've been blown that way. Me personally, as a social media, I won't say the I word, it's kind of weird. But even me, I find myself looking up like, well, who am I? So today, my overall question to each and every one of you is, who are you? So I'll start randomly. Who are you?
Kadriana.
Who is Kadriana?
Kadriana is a young woman.
Mhm.
She's a peer support specialist,
Mhm.
mental health advocate.
Wait, hold on. Not what you do. Who are you? Who are you? Don't worry, it's a trick question. Because if you ask me who I am, I'm going to start talking about the breakfast I make for the kids, how I clean the house for my husband. But that's the point. We wake up and we have so many roles, we have so many jobs, so many tasks to do. Who are you? What do you like to do? What is your favorite color? What makes you feel good? What foundation look good on your skin? Right? Okay, I need a volunteer. Anybody, don't be shy, because if I gotta pick you, you're gonna be mad at me. Come on, somebody, raise your hand. Come on. What's your name? Come up. Yeah. I know, I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. I'll buy you breakfast. What's your name? Sherelle. All right, let's give it up for Sherelle, guys. All right, now, I want to give you something. I have money, lots of it. It's heavy. It's up here. It's coins. It's terrible. Right? But before I give you your money, I need you to do some things for me. Here's your money. But before you do that, I need you to take care of your children. Okay? And I need you to take care of your household. And your health. No, don't get it. I'll give you another one. Your health. I need you to take care of your skin. Do you work out? Okay? I need you to take care of your stamina and your physique. Oh, damn, you gotta get your hair done. You have on glasses. We have to send you to the optometrist. So, I need you to keep up with appointments. You drive a car? Okay. Can't forget your oil change and your gas. All right. You did a good job dressing yourself. You got to do laundry. What else you got going on? You like jewelry? So you go shopping. So that's some self-care. Yeah. You got to hold that to them. All right. I know it's a lot. Oh, you came here today too. Yeah. So you invested in yourself. You done showed up for yourself. That's good. You deposited into your mind. I love that for you. But wait, I still got some money for you. Okay. Oh, she's good. She could really be a mom because she's juggling. Now, mind you, we starting with pennies. And we going all the way up to the quarters. I got some dollar bills for you, so if you can hold on. Right? And this is literally what we do every single day. And if you ain't dropped that orange, I would have found something else to make you hold it for. There you go, because that's what life throws at you, right? Because you got your car in there, but they didn't account for the flat tire that just randomly happened. Or the fact that you live where animals are, and you probably hit a deer. Or if you're like me, the bear hit you. And I promise you, he hit me, guys. It sounds funny, but it was not when he did it. Here you go. Hold it up. That's heavy too, right? That was the reason I did this, not dollar bills. Dollar bills would have been too easy. Yeah, way too easy. Okay, here you go. Oh, it's calling. You got it. What? But you didn't take your pocketbook when you left the house. Are you want to be? You got to ride back home and get your bag? Yeah, probably. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna go get the first thing. Hold on. And this is literally what it looks and feels like to be a woman every single day. Now, she's going to have to start putting stuff down soon. I'm not going to put it all on you because it's going to fall. I ain't bring it up here to embarrass you. But what's the first thing you put down? Because you need your money, so we ain't going to drop that, even though it's heavy. What's the first thing you're going to put down? Self-care. Okay. What's the second thing? Because it still looks like you're struggling a little bit. Appointments. The third thing. She said, get rid of them. What's the next thing you're going to put in? Dressing good. Yeah. Don't you hate it when the sweatsuits start coming out? And then I know you're going to put a t-shirt. You're going to put them wigs on, so I'm going to put the hair down next. I'm a victim. You see the ponytail, girl? What's next? Wait, you can put the nails in there. Car maintenance. What else we got? You gotta feed the kids. You gotta feed the kids. Do you see? Stop. You're right. But do you see now that she's down to what needs to be prioritized and how she's prioritizing it? She didn't talk about feeding herself. She said she has to feed who? Okay. So she's gonna keep them kids. I'm gonna hold it for you because that's what sisters are for. This is what support looks like. So I'm gonna make sure your babies eat. What else? What else did we get? We had a long list.
Are you still working out?
Working out, yeah. Working out probably would have no time anyway. You know what? You don't have the time in the day.
Glasses.
Glasses. It's all right. I'll wear the old one. You know what? I'm gonna help you with the glasses. I want you to see. They say it's a year, but they go longer than that. You know what? You're not wrong. Okay, but do you guys get the point? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Hold on 1 second. Oh, you got it. There you go. I sure do. Here. Thank you for your participation. Here, wait. I got this for you. I don't know if this is gonna be the glasses. But thank you for showing up. This is showing up. And then it's warranted. Now I have a question. Thank you. I got some more money left. This is like the price is right. Who wants this? Who wants this? You do? Who wants this? Me.
That's not their credit.
I don't need it.
That's a trick.
Okay, no, wait, actually, serves for a good example. Now, usually it's $100 bill, and I make it look sexy. I got a bunch of ones. Woo! This time I didn't. I was unprepared. However, everybody wanted it, whatever that it was, correct? So what stopped everybody from getting it? What differentiated what she just got versus what you all wanted indeed? What was it? That was it. I could have said no. I could have said psych. It could have been a fake 20. It's not. But there was a lot of things that could have happened. She could have tripped and fell on her way up. She didn't worry about being embarrassed. She put the pride to the side and she came and got what she wanted. What stops us every day from going after what we want?
I think there's a trick there, that there's something like in return, that you have to give something to get something.
Not all the time. Sometimes giving an opportunity is enough. You believing that you can go out and have something, that's enough. It's only a trick question if you make it a trick question, because guess what? The only two things that are promised in life is life and death. And death can come at any time, at any moment. We have no idea when it is coming. And I actually tweeted this not too long ago. For the people who are not quite millennials, Twitter is a place where you express yourself by putting words on the screen. And what I said is, we waste the time we do have worrying about things that may or may not happen in the future that we don't know we will have. And I get that. I'm no different than you guys. So as I'm talking to you, not at you, because I get into my mind too. This is not going to be right. This is not going to look right. Believe it or not, I argue with myself about a girdle I forgot today. And after 5 kids, I can have a little Tina to talk and tell me, right? Well, that's not what I said to myself this morning. I said, damn it, you forgot it. And if you go back, you're going to be late. Turn. But that's neither here nor there. You are your greatest enemy, and you are your greatest cheerleader. And however you wake up in the morning, whatever side of the bed you choose, that's how your day is going to go. You cannot let anything stop you. So, because this is financial literacy workshop time and not you can do it time, I'm going to tell you how I did it. I wasn't a rocket scientist. I didn't know anything about real estate. I did not want to go to school for real estate, whatever. I was always really responsible. I loved my grandma like to the moon and back. She put me on this piece of paper called a deed. The time I didn't know what a deed was, I think it was around Lock Haven time. I actually went to school with Chaz. We went to Lock Haven together. So at this time, I'm in the process of feeling like I got life figured out. I did not. My grandma passed away. Not that we didn't see it coming. She was not the healthiest person. I feel like the oranges that she dropped was the ones that she needed the most. And as a result of that, she didn't make it past 56, right? So here I am. She passes away. My name is on her deed. Everybody, instead of grieving like I am, they begin to, yes, they started fighting. Y'all know what they were doing. Y'all got family too. Maybe cousins. You do look familiar. Was it you who asked me? It might have been. So they all started fighting. Obviously, I'm the youngest. I have a father, I have an aunt, and I have maybe 3 uncles, all twice my senior. And instantly, when they figured out the house was mine, they stopped fighting each other and started to fight who? You. Right. And at 29, I'm this size. How big y'all think I was back then? Too thin to win, I'll tell you that. I had some decisions to make. They were hard ones. The first one I had to decide was, will I move forward knowing that I do not have support? Granted, I had a boyfriend who's my husband now. I had a great grandmom that pretty much just goes with the flow. Whatever I wanted to do, she just kind of let me do it. But there was nobody that said, yo, I got your back. You can do this. Now, my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, he had my back, but it was a little more aggressive, had your back, like, let her make her decisions. Y'all can't do but so much to it. But in terms of, like, the emotional turmoil that I felt, feeling ostracized, feeling scared, feeling like I was in over my head, that wasn't anything that anybody else from the outside can pour into me. That was something that was internal. So here we are, got the house, it's great. What do I do next? I move in, so I don't have to pay rent where I live anymore. That's a good idea, right? Until you remember grandma got drop ceiling panels and she still got the plastic on her couch from Easter 10 years ago. So do I take off this plastic? And then when you pull the plastic up, the couch is ripping with the plastic. Grandma, where you get this from? Okay, great. So now I have to figure out how to furnish the house. I don't have any money. I'm a college kid, okay? I gotta figure out how to furnish the house. I have to figure out what deferred maintenance means. You go to turning on pipes, you hear little drips, you open under the cabinet, and I'm like, grandma, was tying the pipes with like t-shirts and all kinds of things. The house that Jack built, I think grandma built it. Jack wasn't there. Because if he was, I would have had to fix it all. Didn't work. So we have deferred maintenance. We had a little bit of mold. We had a bunch of things that I wasn't ready to deal with because I did not know how, and I also didn't have the finances. So then you got the family harassment, and you have my grandma's lovely neighbor, really nice, well-shaved, three-piece suit. First time I ever saw cufflinks in real life. Never knew they existed until I saw him with it on. At the time, I did not realize that I was in the middle of gentrification. I didn't realize why he was living next to my grandma. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that his house wasn't even there a few years ago. That was actually an abandoned lot. And before it was a lot, and it was an abandoned house. But somehow, some way, it's all fixed, and it looks like the others, and he lives here, so he's my friend. He asked me, he said, hey, did you ever think about selling it? And of course I did, but my grandma said not to. Can y'all guess why she said not to?
Property value.
Nope. Oh, she didn't know real estate either. I think grandma knew real estate. No, that was her dollar house. She got it from Section 8. But at that time, that's the American dream. You just own something. So when my grandma left it to me, what she said was, hey, don't sell it. This is all we have. Was she right or was she wrong? She was right. But she was missing a part. Which part was she missing? I can get more. Who said that? Absolutely. This is all we have. But this is not all we have to have. Now, at the time, her mom didn't venture that far. You know, when you're up in your years, you're complacent. And as long as you finish the race by your standard, you're fine. Ownership was a really, really big thing. She was okay with it. Let me tell you what I went and did. I did not listen to my grandma. Yeah. It was bad. So I sold it. Right? Not to the contractors that offered me $30,000. Not to the maintenance people that said, hey, I got a check right now. Now, mind you, I used to be a cashier, and we didn't take personal checks. So that man with that truck, he could have kept it. Right? But I did list it with the neighbor's realtor who helped him buy. Really nice guy. He said, hey, we'll list it at $115. I said, wait a minute. Can we do that? Because they said it's only worth $30,000, $40,000. It's a lot of work, too much for you. These were the things that I was told. He said, yeah, $115, it'll be fine. I signed this paper because common sense goes a long way, and it is not really common. What I did know is a company holds liability, and if anything goes wrong, I could just sue, right? So I trusted that. I was like a latchkey kid, so I was really good with reading. I'm an avid reader. Anyways, we listed at $115. 6 days later, we were in a bidding war. Mind you, I'm by myself at this time. I don't have any voice of reason saying, hey, fighting over it. It must be worth something. I'm like, which one cash? Take that. 6 days. I didn't let 6 days. $152 cash. As is. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't even change the locks on the door. I don't even think I brought the key to close, and they was fine. They knocked it all down, fixed it up anyway. It was great. I felt really accomplished until 2 weeks later. I was told that I could have sold it for $275,000. Don't y'all be down there judging me. Don't try to do it. I didn't know any better. I told you guys I was a baby. But what I did learn was that, hey, I got some more stuff to learn. At no point in time was I discouraged. At no point in time did I feel like I'm in over my head. At no point in time did I try to find a realtor and choke them out. I had dreams about it, but I never actually had them. What I did do was I went to real estate school. I studied fundamentals. I studied practice. I passed the test. What I realized is it was a great area, and I didn't want to hang my license on the wall. So I said, I could figure this out myself. And if one house got me this much money, I am going to go buy more houses. Very, very arrogant. I remember the realtor actually sitting me down with the financial advisor. And he said, hey, let's put all this money in a Roth IRA. I was like, okay, what's that? And he said, oh, it's an investment account. We put it here, we put it there, we do everything. I said, okay, how much do I get? He said, oh, none until you're 55 and a half. I'm doing math now because 55, a long way from now. And the first thing that I'm considering is that my grandma didn't even make it a year past 55. So what happens if I need it in the meantime? What happens if I actually need the money? I'm saying it like hypothetically as if I wasn't broke. It was crazy because he knew. He could see it on me. You could see poverty on the person sometimes. You could see how many oranges they done put down. At that time, I didn't slick the ponytail. I probably had it in a bun. I know I had some sweatpants on. I love me a good sweatsuit. So anyways, I say to him, well, I actually need the money now. He says, well, if you were to take some out after giving it to me, I'll give it to you, but you'll be penalized. So, okay, stranger. Give my money for free, and if I happen to be hungry, like I usually am, I gotta pay to get my money back? Of course, but that's the way it works, because if you leave it here, it'll mature, blah, blah. So I said, well, what are you gonna do with it? It was way too complicated for him to explain to me. But he ain't like that. I asked 3 times, because I needed answers. What are you about to do that I can't do? Can y'all guess what the answer was? Nothing. It was nothing that he was about to do with my money that I couldn't figure out how to do. Can you guess what I did? Respectfully say no thank you, or as respectful as I knew to be at the time. I invested in stocks. I invested in bonds. I have a Tesla that I purchased in cash using life insurance. Guess what? I have Tesla stock. I get paid to drive a beautiful car, right? Real estate. I bought a pre-foreclosure. It's about almost 6,000 square feet. Got it for 318. It appraised at 655. For people who don't know what that means, it means I bought a house for half that is worth, and now I have a piggy bank I can crack open any given time and get $300,000 that I did not do yet because I don't even need to. Education took me there. Learning took me there. That is what I decided to do for myself. Now, at that time, I bought the houses. I went to the auction. That's what actually prompted me to sell. She had some tax abatement stuff that was like over when she passed away. So then, knock, knock, knock. The sheriff's notice says, hey, we're selling your house. So you selling something that's mine? Yeah, we're selling your house. Your grandma owed 40-something thousand in taxes. At the time, 40,000 is a big amount. You give me 40,000 right now, I'm gonna cry because I know I'm gonna spend it fast. But I know where I'm going to spend it at, but I'm still gonna cry because it's not a lot. But at the time, I'm trying to figure out, well, how do I get $40,000? What do I do? I didn't have an answer, so okay, I sold it, dang. But I never forgot that auction invite because that was an invitation, right? Yeah, I mean, you said you're gonna sell my house, then you sell some more. Let me show up and see what's going on. You know, when I went to the auction, I realized that one, you didn't need money to be there. Not what you considered to be money at the time. My first auction property was, guess. Somebody guess, throw in them dollars. How much? Less.
600.
Oh, you cheat. She's cheating. She's actually one of my clients. It's horrible. But my very first auction property was $1,700, but it was $600 down. But wait, there's a whole new world here because I actually have the money now. So I showed up ready. I didn't look for it no more. I'm gonna buy me some houses. Yeah, so I win the auction. I go up to pay for it. They say, oh no, we don't take all of the money now. You put down $600 and you come back in 30 days. I'm saying here, like, well, how many 10% can I put down on these properties? Oh, as many as you want. Go for it. I'm like, this is crazy. Why didn't anybody invite me here sooner? That's what I'm saying. After that year, I had a ton of properties. I was house rich, cash poor, but I didn't care. I felt good. If any of you guys ever played Monopoly with your family, you know how it goes. I just decided to do it in real life at the time. So now whichever was least producing or the ugliest, I would sell it, use the profits, go to the auction, buy two more, or I would sell it, use the profits to fix one up that wasn't quite produced. And I just kept going and going and going. That's how I ended up being debt free. And I'm going to tell you, now at this age, I do believe leverage is great. It's just not what you do, it's how you do it. Don't start with that. Debt is bondage. I saw the breaking yourself from bondage thing. Do you guys know what bondage is? Bondage doesn't really have a title, so it's not like just money or just bondage is the lack of ability to make a decision for yourself because you are indebted to something else. That can be anything. That could be a bad relationship. That could be a car note. That could be a mortgage. That could be them kids that keep asking you for stuff after you gave them everything you had already. I think that's on purpose. Those kids get to asking you stuff because they know. You start robbing, then they start extorting. It's a bad parent. Y'all should stop it while y'all can. I am a victim. They got me in a chokehold. That is the bondage I need to break. But I say that because when I started out, I started that free because I didn't know any better. I didn't know about taxes. I didn't know about credit. I didn't know about taxes either. My first awakening to taxes was a $200,000 tax bill from somebody named Uncle Sam. Is he your uncle too? Did you ever meet him? Really? He ain't never come to none of my Thanksgivings. He came and got his money, I'll tell you that. So everything that I learned was experience based. I literally learned on the job. And then once I got acclimated to it, I decided, hey, well, borrowing from people may not be the thing to do. Because what you don't own, you don't what? What you don't own, you don't control. Right. Come on, this is an open forum. Talk to me, guys. This is like a one-way FaceTime again. What you don't own, you don't control. And it's always good. You come out the interest rates are low. Everything is perfect. Even with the lowest interest rate, you still earn more than what you borrow. Yes. It's never going to be a time somebody give you $10 and take $10 back. Never. And then when you think about that on a larger scale, why would you want that type of entitlement over a roof that's over your head? Why would you want that? Why would you want somebody at any given time be able to say, hey, you owe me this. I'm taking this back. regardless if you're 10 years in, 20 years in, 30 years in, you could be down to your last mortgage payment, and they got the right to come and snatch it, and then got a nerve to sell it to me for pennies on a dollar. And you can't buy it. You're not invited to the auction to buy your own things. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Same thing with a car note. I'll tell you about the car note. That's highway robbery. It's something called consumer law. You guys should look into it. But in a nutshell, you go to a car lot, you purchase a car for $30,000, you drive off the car lot, the car is now worth $22,000. You have interest on that car. You done bought yourself 2 nicer cars than the one you drove off with. The paper. This is what you owe. Why would you want to do that? Well, you can just be your own bank. Have anybody ever heard about infinite banking?
No.
You did. Oh, you sneaky smart over here. I know. Can you give me in your own words what infinite banking is?
I just know if you get a life insurance policy, take a loan from it, and you can, as that's generating whatever you put into a life insurance policy, if you take a loan out against it, it's still getting interest.
Yes, that's
while
exactly what it is.
you can use the loan for whatever you want to do.
That is the right answer. Let's take a step back. How many people know what life insurance is? How many people have life insurance? How many people know what life benefit they have? Okay, see, that's not enough hands. Everybody in this room almost has life insurance. Less than half of the people in here know how to use life insurance. So let me tell you, Life Insurance is the book by Mary L. Heen. I will have Miss Cherie send you guys out the PDF, but it talks about how life insurance was created. It goes back to slavery times. Slave owners had life insurance on the slaves, and what would happen is if they were injured or killed, you would be paid out. Walmart used it. I don't know if they still do it after that nasty lawsuit, but what it is it's an investment vehicle, which you can't say investment because it's insurance, but that's what it is. It's an investment vehicle that accrues interest as you keep your money inside of it, and you kind of get to spend the money twice. Now, how many people have insurance on their car or renter's policy, right? How many people actually never had to use it, the insurance, right? Did you ever get your money back?
No.
Know how many years did you pay into this thing? Where's the rest of the money? Where does the money go?
Exactly.
And if you did need it, what would you need to do to get access to it? A damn deductible. Ain't that something? I've been paying for 20 years and I still have to give you a deductible to get out what I done put in. Well, with life insurance and the way that it is used, the right way for infinite banking, it's called a whole life. Y'all should write this down. It's gonna save your life. It's called a whole life dividend paying policy. Kind of like having stock on yourself. That's how I look at it. So you take a premium, you decide what your numbers are. Obviously, it's not one size fits all. You guys have to decide how much you want to put in versus what you want to get out, etc. You're usually able to pull about 80% out within 30 days. So this is why I call it my own banking policy, because this is the way I've been able to stay debt free. You put a certain amount in, you can take 80% out. Now, by putting a certain amount in, that's your premium, but you get a death benefit. For loose numbers, I'll use my last one. Don't judge me. They don't have to be this size, and they don't have to look how this one looked for me, but it was $150,000 premium. I can take $97,000 out right away, which I did. It was intentional. My death benefit was $7 million instantly. So win, lose, or draw. If I borrowed $97,000 on Monday and something happened bad to me on Tuesday, my kids have $7 million minus the 97. And they better not go praying to God about that $97,000. You don't know my kids, they start laughing. They be like, where the rest? It's crazy. But what ends up happening is the $97,000 that I borrowed comes from my death benefit. So it's typically like I'm borrowing from my dead self. Naturally, I like to pay myself back because it kind of makes sense. It's counterproductive any other way. So yes, I put the $97,000 back. But this is what I do with my real estate world. This is how I keep things afloat. Whatever I want to go buy, and it's not always responsible stuff like houses. Sometimes it's a car, sometimes it's a Benz, but whatever. Before yes. Have you priced a Birkin lately? Man. Don't even talk about it. We can judge each other in the corner in the back. But what happens is, okay, I knew that I needed to go buy something for $100,000. I put that in the policy first to be able to take it back out. Now, the great news is, somebody do some quick math. What's 150 minus 97? I know. Just use your phone. This is 53. Right. So in my policy, if I took 150 and put it in there and took 97 out, how much do I have left accruing interest?
53.
Nope.
No, you still
Nope.
have the same amount.
The same amount. My full 150 is still accruing between 6 and 12% interest. That specific one is 7.5. It's still accruing interest while I'm out investing and making great moves with my life or great financial fashion decisions. And then my money grew my interest by the time I put it back. No harm, no foul. It's like I didn't miss anything. And if I never put it back, remember what happens? 7 million minus. So let me tell you why this is really cool. It was cool for me because I just learned it. Yay! Thank me for reading. It was not so cool because the Rockefellers have been doing it forever. Do you guys know who they are?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who the oldest one is? The one who started the chain? Like, do y'all know how old he actually is?
Yeah.
He's very, very. If he was alive today, he's not alive now. But if he was alive, he'd be well into his 100s, right? Why do we still know his name? Why do we know his name right now?
Because he built Rockefeller Center.
I don't even know what he looks like. I don't even know if we have an accurate picture. When he was moving around, I don't even know if they had good cameras. Back then, they probably had sketch pads. Like, stay still. Exactly. Let me tell you what he did. Insurance. He had insurance policies. He put them in a trust. It's so amazing what he did. He said, hey, when my children turn 18, whatever is in there, give them half. Let the other half accrue interest over 18 years' time because they'll have children. And when their children turn 18, I want to give them half of whatever was left. Now, whatever was left now is compounded interest over, let's say they didn't have kids when they were 18. It could be 20, 25 years now, right? So this is 25 years worth of compound interest that's there. And now his grandkids are 18. Hey, you get half of this compounded interest. And guess what? When the grandkids have children over the age of 18, they get half of whatever is the compounded interest. But every single time this happens, every single generation this happens for, it's almost always more in compounded interest than it was when he first started. He kept doing it. He kept doing it. He's feeding people now, and he ain't feeding them a little bit. He's feeding them now off of a financial decision that he made years and years and years ago. So now here we have it. We have access to insurance. Obviously, we're alive. Most of us have children. Why we ain't doing the same thing? We didn't know. You know today, better get some insurance tomorrow. Or make a plan to get insurance. Because guess what else is still active? Real estate. If you Google the FDIC, you'll learn two things about them really quickly. One, they only insure up to $250,000 of your money, which most people don't even consider because they're like, I'm not going to put $250,000 in the bank, which I hate the thought process for because who said that you can't get $250,000? You can win the lottery. I play scratch offs sometimes. I don't know if you're going to get 250, but you can get something, right? You can get real estate. Things happen. You can make you some money. Why cap yourself? I remember having a really tough conversation with my great grandma. She's still alive. I care for her. Love her. She helped raise me. It was election time. I'm not a politician, so I ain't gonna be up here cursing at y'all. But I'm gonna tell you this: there was a person running for president, and what he said is, "I am going to tax the wealthy. Anybody who makes over a certain dollar amount will be experiencing additional tax." I didn't want to vote for the person who was running against him. However, I had to have a conversation with my grandma. Because you're thinking you won't ever make over that dollar amount, you feel like it doesn't apply to you. But the child you raised in your household makes over that certain dollar amount, and what he's about to tax happens to be your allowance, grandma. She said, well, I ain't voting for the orange one. I said, well, don't vote at all. Yo, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to call that man orange, I'm sorry. But don't vote at all. That was the conversation that I had to have, right? Why did I have to have it? Because us as a system, we are so used to giving our freedom, our life, our choices to somebody else. Mainly democracy is insane. I ran for state representative, so trust me when I say it, I'm saying it with my chest. But that's another conversation for another day. What I want you all to take away from this is you have choices. You have choices. They still sell dollar houses. They have land banks. They have situations where they give properties away. I give away a property every year for deeds under trees. It's like a Christmas campaign I do. Last year I gave away 3. Everybody's looking at me like the same. No, they were like $500 properties. Okay? Y'all all complimented me on my bag. That was about 4 of those properties. Buy yourself a property. Even if you don't want to be a landlord, that's fine. It's not for everybody. That's an actual career path within real estate. But I'll tell you something. There's nothing that you can do in this lifetime that does not involve real estate, even if it's intellectual real estate. Throw me some careers, random. Nursing. That's a hospital. What is that? A building.
Yeah.
Real estate. You die, you get buried. Even dirt It's considered real estate. Y'all drove on this pathway, somebody owned their driveway. You're on the highway, PennDOT owns their driveway. You can't even breathe without real estate. You guys ever heard of air rights? The air you breathe is real estate. That should mean something to you all. Because you're going to go, however long, I hope we all live really long lives in here, but you're going to go through your life, you're going to go day to day experiencing and investing into somebody else's real estate. And y'all going to go to sleep and not have your own. Now, I don't know about y'all. I do it for myself because it makes me feel good. But there's some people that I'm going to leave behind when I go. And if I don't owe anybody anything, I owe that to them. I have to give them choices. I have to. Because there's a system, there's a world out there who's going to take their choices away so they can support the choices that they're making for them. More often than not, they're oppressed choices. And if you don't know any better, you're going to fall victim to it. Does that make you wrong? No. Selling my grandma's house for $150 when I could have got $275, I wasn't wrong for it. Most people said she told you not to sell it anyway. You shouldn't have listened. You should have played it safe. What was safe about that, though? What was safe about having one house that I couldn't even afford to take care of, which more than likely I would have lost anyway? What was good about that? I figured it out, and I lost a lot along the way. I don't even want to tell y'all how much money I lost. That's why I buy nice stuff now. Originally talked about rewarding yourself. I reward myself all the time. There's a friend that I have here. I got a couple entrepreneur friends in here I'm so proud of. There's a friend I have here. Her name is Jamisa. Every time I turn around, I'm in her store getting more clothes. Now, it's only a bad thing if you saw my closet, but because you guys didn't, I'm going to lie to y'all. It's a healthy habit. It's a very healthy habit. Do you see this dress? Honestly, do y'all see this dress? This came from her store. She happens to have the best store in the whole region. Honestly, I'm not driving to King of Prussia to go shopping. So she is my Short Hills Mall. You hear me? I mean, like, you got shoes. Matter of fact, these are earrings too, right? Oh, yeah, see? Yeah. You have Yanni. She has hair. Now, this is not real hair today, but on the best days of my life, I got a wig. And I got different kinds. They have different names, all different personalities. Her hair is amazing. Which I don't know why she has it. But she right there. Quiet. She has hair. These are all first generation entrepreneurs now. Okay? You got to think about that. And I invest in all of my friends' businesses because my friends invested in themselves first. When she first started selling wigs, it was insane because she cut her hair recently, but she had hair that came down. It's like, what you doing? We don't even know if it worked because you got your own hair. How we supposed to know if it worked? She run around like a doll baby. I call her my lifestyle doll. I don't know how she do it. She's a nurse full time, so she's literally saving lives. And when she gets off, the mall is closed, but I'm getting her to open the store. We was in the store last night. What was it, 8 o'clock? People in the window like. I'm like, just me. Just keep going before she changes her mind. You are your greatest investment at all times. So when we talk about finances, I'm not going to talk to you guys about how to get money. I feel like there's a million ways that you can get money, right? You have to do what makes you feel good to get it, though, because as easy as you get it is as easy as you lose it. And when you start that hamster wheel of chasing this, do it. You lose yourself getting it. Then you start dropping all the oranges, so you ain't even enjoying spending it. Because you see, she said she ain't going to the gym. She's not doing her hair. She put the shades down. Okay, she said, I don't want to get dressed. So we did all of this to juggle and hold all of this, and the only thing she got out of it valuable was feeding her kids. Which, if I'm going to be honest, one day them kids going to grow up and have a whole different life, and she going to be an empty nester. Wishing she went to the gym. Stella ain't getting her groove back if that body ain't right. Honestly, I'm being serious. Okay? So when y'all think about investing and y'all think about finances, I want y'all to know the greatest financial attribute that you possess right now doesn't require an LLC, doesn't require any money, doesn't require an advanced credit score. It's just yourself. That equity in yourself, that stake that you have in yourself, your foundation. If you have a solid foundation of self, you can build whatever you want. I beat every single statistic. I had my first child at 21. I wasn't married at the time. By the time we had the second one, I was married. All of my children are by the same father. I am actually married, which is insane. I have a 3-car garage. I got 4 cars. I can't even park them all in there. I don't have a car note. Okay, I told y'all about the equity. That's the only mortgage I have, and it's intentional just because of the equity. And I wanted to build my invisible credit score. It's insane how credit works, but that's another story.
I know.
For another day.
I know.
Right? Yeah. She knows about credit. It's a reward system. Oh, you're so good at giving me all your money. Let me give you a point. And then the more you pay your bills, that's when the scores start creeping.
Yeah.
You get to a good 670, then they're like, oh, 671. I'm like, oh, where's the 10 points? Oh, you're doing so good. 677. You know I need a 700 to get what I need. Can we get to the point? And you've been paying them bills for, she said 20 years. How long you been paying your bills? You know what? I don't want the answer. Did y'all hear the evil laugh? She has been a victim to the system. Or what do you have to show for it? As a landlord, they always tell me, hey, do credit checks. Why? Just because you pay American Express don't mean you're going to pay me. You might not even have any more money left. Right?
After you pay your bills, you ain't got nothing.
Never. And what type of life is that to live? And I mean, I got babies that they so small they can't even speak. They've been to countries. We have passports now. I do things the way that I want to do them. I have my babies home. I'm not subjected to like crazy hospitals. So I
When
can
I
make.
open my child care center, you gotta come through.
You know what? I'm still one of them
It
moms.
takes a community to raise a child now.
You know what? I'm not mad at the thought, so I'm gonna come. But if I leave them kids in there with you, they're gonna be raising the other kids. So you better think before you
Miss
talk.
Sabrina got him.
I run.
Miss Sabrina got him in the back. Got a great daycare. She got him in the back.
You know what?
Mine is 24-hour child care.
Mine's is
7 days a
24.
week.
She won.
Including holidays for the
She
city that doesn't
won.
why should your child care free?
What about Christmas?
I think if I have whatever.
I'm sold. So I'm
Sabrina,
sending my kids
Miss
there.
Sabrina and Cindy got it.
Mindfulness and art, you can come on down to me because I'm teaching them skills for when they're done daycare.
Well, a part of my financial freedom presentation.
Dreamcatcher, shoot business card.
You know what?
Okay, Dreamcatcher, we just don't dream, we catch
Wait a
them.
minute.
Okay. Entrepreneurship, finance literacy.
All right, 45, 55, 55, 65. Go ahead, 65 the back. 65 okay, so to lady with the holiday, the 24-hour daycare.
That business while you been. Look at this.
They paying for my babies.
That's what I said. That's why both of
That's
us
it.
are people. We
That's
can
it.
partner and I'll be the.
Because we are not each other's competition. We are each other's support.
System. You got to get a bigger building, take half and half.
That's it.
You said 24 hours in a day, and then you got to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where Sabrina come in.
Created
That's what Sabrina come in.
created employment.
All right,
That's
you heard that.
Okay. Well,
She said when you take a break, she'll be there for you.
and that's what it's all about. That's what community actually is. So community doesn't have a color. Community doesn't really have
That's
a
it,
gender.
community.
Community has an initiative, and that initiative is to support one another, uplift one another, share the information and the knowledge that we know, and to help us individually prosper so that as a whole we can get bigger and we can get greater. Okay, so everything that I just shared with you guys, I practice what I preach. I love it. It is great. But I want you guys to live that way too. So that the next time I'm somewhere really awesome, you guys can be there too. Yes?
I have a question. So, I love your story, and
Thank
it's
you.
inspiring. Like I said today, I'm gonna be the troublemaker. Okay? Because truth of the matter is, you're a one of a kind. For most people, that doesn't happen for us.
Right.
Right or wrong?
That's
For
correct.
most people, it doesn't happen for us. So, let's say I am of the scenario
Correct.
that I'm working minimum wage. Okay, still have to do everything that
You gotta hold the orange.
Yeah, exactly. All the oranges and then some ones that we is specific to us.
Right.
All right. My credit is shot because the truth of the matter is I didn't know how important credit was when I was growing up because mama didn't talk to me about that. What mama said was, you do what you gotta do now and worry about paying somebody back later because your children need whatever they need right this second, And many times, I do hear people say, invest, but when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're just trying to make it to tomorrow, how do you go about taking that first step to say, you know what? I know I have to do all of this, but I do want to invest in me. How can I do that in the scenario I'm in that's not ideal? What would your suggestion be?
All right.
I got both of y'all. So the first thing that to answer your question, because I know you ain't devil's advocate today. I done got that so many times. But what if my grandma didn't die? I was like, oh, I hope she didn't. I was really doing it. Still alive. That's not the coin toss. But I never have a person use their own money to invest. I always say that your assets should pay for themselves. So if you do not have money and you do not have credit, you have one more currency that is greater than the both of them. What is that? Time.
Mhm.
Right? Now, I'm not saying that you have to squeeze an extra 3-4 hours out of the day. You already said that you're outside doing things, you're moving around. Have you ever heard of wholesaling? How many people have heard of wholesaling?
Mhm.
I feel like everybody should raise their hand because y'all all have been a part of a wholesale deal
Yeah.
at one point in time in your life. Now, I'm going to talk to you about real estate wholesale in just a second. But, excuse me, where'd you get your sweater from?
I'm sorry.
Where'd you get your sweater? Where'd you buy your sweater?
TJ Maxx.
But it came from China. So China was the seller, TJ Maxx was the wholesaler, you were the end buyer.
Retail.
Yes. Where you get your hair from, Yanni?
You got real hair.
Yep, your real hair. You got your real hair from your mom.
No.
God was the seller. Your mom was the wholesaler. And you profited at the end.
No, India.
You see what I'm saying? So there's always a chain of command. We're just always the end buyer. We're the consumer. That's the problem with us. But we're always actively wholesaling. The food that you eat, this pretty orange, probably came from a market, but it came from a farmer first. Farmer was the seller, market was the wholesaler, and we just went every penny spending our money as a consumer to buy it. You can do the same thing with real estate. Okay? Now, what happens in real estate is that everything is contractual until it's made final. So you don't actually have to ever put out your own money. 3 people. Hi, you third. You like my legs. We talked earlier, so I'm gonna use you as my example. What's your name? Jackie.
Catherine.
Miss Catherine? Heather. Okay. Heather is selling a property for $150,000. Okay? Now, Miss Jackie, right? Catherine, that's Jackie. Okay, Catherine, you are going to agree to purchase Heather's property for $150,000.
Okay.
At the time, you don't have $150,000, but that is okay. Contractually, you are agreeing to purchase this property from Heather for $150,000. Now, before I move to the next step, it's completely free. It's completely legal. Because contractually, as long as you can find somebody who can afford to purchase Heather's property, you're not doing anything wrong. Worst case scenario, you waste Heather's time and she might not ever talk to you again. But best case scenario, Heather gets her money and all as well. What I mean is you're not doing anything wrong, no lawsuits, nothing of that sort. Now, you have to have this conversation with your friend and say, hi, I'm trying to come up with this money by tomorrow. Right? But what you're not screwed. You got a lovely young lady on a Saturday morning who says she buys houses. You guys are so funny. But no, honestly, as long as you can get me to agree to purchase it for more than the $150 that you guys owe, you're in the clear. Now I run $200,000 to the closing table. Now this is all contingent upon what the numbers are and what the house is actually worth. So there's actual math to support that and figure out what you can offer versus what you cannot. But we're going to use loose numbers to make it make sense. I'm bringing $200,000 to the closing table. 150 of it goes where? What happens to the other 50?
Goes to you, your pocket.
I have it.
Yeah, that's enough to unscrew yourself, don't you think? So that's enough to unscrew yourself, don't you think? There you go. So Ms. Sharice, that's your question. You were screwed coming in, so were they. They unscrewed themselves. I will use the same method to unscrew myself because now when you're outside and you're at work, instead of investing all your time into that job, remember you're your greatest investment. Have these conversations with the people you're working with. Have the conversations with the people that you encounter on your way to work. Have the conversations with the people at the market. The things that you're already doing, just incorporate that into it. Because who's the buyer? Who can buy a house?
Anyone.
Oh, that's the brightest answer. And most people like a realtor. They give you all these great answers. Anybody can buy a house. Anybody that can afford to buy a house. Now,
Trying.
this is not my normal audience, but y'all probably got some PPP too. Y'all done got some SBA. Y'all done got some stuff. If y'all don't know the acronyms and Google them, the government was giving away a lot of money. But one thing y'all always will have is taxes.
Yes.
You only have an opportunity. It's up to you to run up and take it. Now, I know that you're the one to do it because you just came and got my 20. So when you get the opportunity and it reappears, instead of spending your money on something that's going to cost you money, Put it into something that's going to make you more money. I mean, we're going to spend the money anyway. I'm not up here telling you don't go buy stuff. Frivolous spending is not the best, but we all fall victim to it, especially emotional shoppers. My God, we're terrible people. But I know that it happens, and I'm not telling you to shun yourself because of it. What I'm saying is create an opportunity within that space so that it'll keep going and keep going. Believe it or not, my net worth is really, really high. Most of the time, I don't have liquid cash. It's always in investments or it's always on Grubhub. That's it. Living off of investments is the key. It's not about having a bunch of money. It's not about always having an 800 credit score. If you have an 800 credit score, that means you're not using your credit. Usage is a thing. Credit mix is a thing. Inquiries are a thing. So if you have a perfect credit score, that means that you're not even utilizing credit in the way that it should be. Every big billionaire that you guys probably ever heard of, they say OPM, leverage, use other people's money. Guess who the other people are?
You.
And y'all in here telling me y'all poor?
I know.
Well, they using your money.
Come on.
You put your money in the bank, they taking it out. They give you 0.0. They give me 0.01, and I prefer platinum. I don't know what everybody else get, and it's disgusting because in an insurance policy, the minimum that you're getting is 6%. The max that you're getting is 12%. There's not a zero floor. You can never make under 6% on your money. If you do IUL, you have a zero floor, but you can't use that the same way as whole life. But you think about that because guess what the FDIC does? They have life insurance.
Yes.
Think about why would a bank want life insurance? Ain't no lives there. You look up Chase Bank and you look up their ledger, which is public record. It would really behoove you to read some stuff. The stuff you're gonna find is gonna make you sick first. It's just gonna make you really sick.
Yeah.
Think about that. The FDIC has a ledger. Few billion in real estate, almost double in life insurance. Why? Because that 001 they giving y'all, they making a 10-12% off your money. Y'all watch the news. Some people went to the bank to get their money and what happened? Where was it at? Where was it? Do y'all know where it was? I know where it was. We're in an economic crisis. They're getting all those pre-foreclosures so that they can mortgage off houses to y'all that y'all can't afford. Terrible. When I say y'all, I mean me too because my house is nice. But this is 20,000 square foot house that I really wanted. 77 acres of land with a helipad. I can't fly yet, but let me tell you something. I said, you know what? And it had a koi fish farm with the koi fish in it. You feel me? It was great. Right? I'm going to get it. I want to go see it. But I say all this to say, dreaming big is great. Dreaming bigger is even better. There's nothing that you guys can't do, have, or be. I'm saying that because I literally was a lost, poor college kid trying to figure out how to not kill my family members, to stop them from trying to kill me. Now, I'm 29, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I've been on Forbes, Yahoo Finance, Black Enterprise, I've done TEDs. I'm sitting here talking to y'all, having y'all listening to me like I'm the authority. But in all honesty, it's a little bit of me and every single one of you guys. So when y'all wake up in the morning, I want y'all to think about a few things. One, think about how good I look today. Think about how many kids I had. Think about how I managed to get it done. I had to climb over a husband, a baby, and a cat this month. Now, I'm not saying y'all like not as real as mine, but I don't think y'all had to climb over a cat. Okay? So when y'all wake up in the morning, I want y'all to think about that. And even if you just do one thing, one deposit into your financial bank account of self, do that one thing, it's going to add up because eventually the pennies turn into nickels, turn into dimes, they turn into quarters, and if you figure it all out and you do this right, you can actually start turning into dollar bills. It ain't even as heavy to hold. Okay? All right. Okay, so I love you guys. I'm leaving. Thank you for listening to my spiel.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna put my sexy shoes on so we can take pictures because these slippers ain't doing it for my sexy.
Girl, I think I'm gonna take that $20 I ran up here. Now, and here's the funny part. I know y'all thought that was funny, and if I see it on Instagram, I'll come report it. All right? Because the funny part about that was, and Nicole said it earlier, she said, girl, last time I saw y'all was on crutches. A month ago, I really was on crutches, okay? I had surgery on my knee, okay? And I've been walking. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My knees have been swollen. and I can't get up. And this is my assistant. Aisha's my assistant, and she can contest. I have to come down the stairs backwards, okay, because I cannot step down forwards, okay, and my legs swell up and everything, and some days I can't even get out of the chair. Okay. Well, let's get to the office because my office is on the third floor. For those of you who have visited me, you know, you walk. By the time you get to the third floor, that's why we offer y'all food when y'all come visit because we feel bad that y'all had to walk up the 3 flights of stairs to come see us, and you know, because I know I'm panting. By the time I get to the third floor, I'm like, ooh, I think I should have took the day off. You know, so when anybody else come visit, I'm like, okay, I should make sure they get something to drink because I'm really tired. You know, but thank you for that. And it's enlightening because growing up, my parents didn't talk to me about finances. They didn't talk to me about credit. Like literally, I'm gonna share something with y'all. Not too long ago, I had a 480 credit score. A 480 credit score, right? And I call myself, you know, I got a little lump sum of money, you know, I was given some inheritance like this, and I said, oh, I want to go buy a house, you know. And everybody was like, oh, you should buy a house. Don't you just love when people tell you to go buy a house? Like you go to Walmart and be like, I want that, you know. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna go buy a house. It was the most embarrassing experience I ever had in my life because I had no clue. I didn't know. And I went and I sat in the office, and you know, I had a little business suit on and sit there. Like, good morning. I'm like, morning. Like this, you smiling because you want to get on the realtor's good side and all this kind of stuff. She said, okay, first we need to address some things. I said, okay, what is it? She was like, well, you're not buying a house today.
Oh.
And I was, yeah, and that was my response. Oh, rude. Okay. You know, like rude and stuff. And I said, why not? And she said, first of all, your credit score is laughable. That's exactly what she said to me. She said, your credit score is laughable. She said, no one will even entertain, no bank is going to sit and even entertain your application. I said, okay, wait a minute. But they said there were all these different kind of programs that I could, you know, tap into for people who had, you know, credit issues and low income and all like that. I didn't hear about none of that. None of that. Okay? And then somebody told me about NACA. And even then, I went to NACA and I was sitting there and I still didn't know what they were talking about. You know? But then, you know, she kind of explained it to me. She was like, you know, I said, well, here's the thing. I can do a cash purchase, you know? And she was like, no, you can't. Even having the money in cash, she was like, no, you can't. And I wanted to know why I can't just, you said it's $150,000. I have $150,000. I'm willing to give you $150,000. You know, we're in Walmart. Okay. And she was like, no, you can't. She was like, one, I wouldn't take your money knowing that the house is not going to cost you just $150,000. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't know about, you know, exact closing costs and all the stuff that Jamisa talked about that I just still don't understand. Okay, I'm being real. Listen, it's real, and this is just as much of a learning experience for me as it is anyone else.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I did y'all a disservice because that is the corporate way of buying houses. So when I said $2,000, I meant $2,000, just $2,000.
Right.
And can't see that's the thing about putting your livelihood into somebody else's hands. They're going to tell you what they know that benefits their career. She might not have known that you could have took that $150 and bought a pre-foreclosure, maybe 10-20,
Right.
spent the rest fixing it up, and you wouldn't have needed a bank or anything else.
Yep.
So she just said what a lot of y'all may or may not have been thinking. If there's something that you don't understand, y'all can text me. I should have led with that because this is a very real version of America, but it's not my reality. I don't know the last time somebody ever told me I couldn't do something. Because
Right.
if they said that I couldn't, I knew the right answer. Yes, I can. And now I'm teaching them how to do their job. The next person that walks in after me. So, me and you gonna talk about how.
No, I got you.
I was about to say, and for you guys, my number is 267. Sorry, 267-419 Rose.
Rose.
Because it's Rose, Rose. Rosebud Investments. I named it after my grandma Rose. I skipped that part too. Sorry. But if you text butterfly, because we're talking about metamorphosis, so I can only think about like caterpillar butterfly. Text the word butterfly to that number, and I'll send you guys like a free pamphlet information just to get y'all started, like a beginner real estate ebook, because you have options, and that's what I want y'all to know before everything else. Always telling people you don't know what I'm saying.
No, but I mean, it's the God honest truth, because the problem is that not only did I understand not understand what you were saying, how do I ask questions on something I don't understand, or I don't know what to ask?
I even know that's developing.
And the truth of the matter is, not everybody's honest. We would hope everybody would be honest, but not everybody's honest. So that. You know what the woman said to me? She was like, you know what? She was like, I'm not going to even take your money. There's a whole bunch of things you don't even know of. She said, but I am going to give you one piece of advice. And I said, what's that? She said, pay your bills. Ooh. That's what she told me. She said, pay your bills. And I said, I do pay my bills. I said, unfortunately, I said, I do pay my bills. I said, she goes, but what are you paying on your bills? Are you paying the bill, or are you paying a portion of the bill? And even when they say you got a credit card and you pay that $35 a month, y'all know the proverbial $35 a month, okay? It's only $35, but the thing is, we start spending, we get in the store, we're like, okay, baby needs some shoes, Yasin's birthday is this week, I need a cake for tomorrow. I really do. But I need a cake for tomorrow. But you know how to bake. Huh? Right, you know how to bake. That's not the point. Okay.
You need the ingredients for the cake. You need the ingredients.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it starts to add up, and before you realize it, that card that you say, oh, I'm only going to spend that $35 that month, turns out to be, I needed gas in the car, so let me put $50 in to get me through the week. Now you've spent $85, and then whatever interest they add on that, now you have that accumulating too. But you don't pay that part. We just pay the $35. And before you know it, that one day come and you go to swipe, and now you can't swipe because they're like, you didn't give us payment. You're like, no, I sent you $35. They're like, I'm sorry, that's not enough. But it was hard. It was a hard lesson to learn, and then I started learning why credit was so important, and I hated it. I hated it because I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand this whole credit score thing. If I have cash, why can't I just go get what I want? And the thing is, people don't want to take cash anymore. People don't want to take cash anymore. But it's very difficult to explain when you have, for those of us that, work in the community, you have let's say an older client come in and they're talking about money, okay? And they need meds, they trying to get their bills paid, but they're on a fixed income, okay? And they're like, okay, but I need to now move out of my house because my fixed income is now no longer covering my apartment. My landlord's going to raise my rent, okay? That rent freeze that they had for 27 years no longer exists, and now they're trying to figure out what to do, but they're not getting any more money. It's hard to tell somebody at 80, well, you need to work on your credit score so you can get somewhere to live. And it's a sad situation, but it's a real situation, and that's what I meant by financial bondage. Times are changing faster than we can educate everyday people to do it. You know what I'm saying? Everyday people won't have Jamisa's story. There's a few of us who can actually sit to the table and have tea and have that conversation. But the everyday person won't. But if we begin to learn about it and figure out how it is that we can explain how these things work and how they tie in to just the everyday person and how the everyday person can use it. You'll be surprised when you educate somebody, the power you've given them. But the power, a lot of times, is not, it doesn't show because there's a lack of information. There's a lack of resources, you know? So thank you, Jamisa, for sharing the resource and the information. And even though, you know, we won't be necessarily financial gurus or, you know, real estate gurus or investment gurus like yourself. Well, not 30 minutes from now when lunch is over, but you know what I'm saying? Even though may not be on her level, we can at least begin to start the conversation with people to say, hey, there are some things to consider when you start talking about money. There are just some things you need to consider. Maybe you should ask about this. You know, it doesn't hurt to tell someone, ask. Okay? Well, y'all, guess what? It's lunchtime. It is lunchtime. I know. Y'all know you're like, we eat a lot, don't we? We really do.